Hey guys, it's Julie from Plan to Create, and obviously there is no lack of amazing planners out on the market right now, and I hope that some of you are enjoying the discovery of that. And I kind of wanted to just catch up and say, like, here's what I'm using. I have made a big switch recently, so I thought I would just address that, and also just in the meantime show you some of the planners that I did purchase this season that I really love that may or may not get used. I still want to give them some screen time because I just feel like they're worth mentioning, but I am not someone who will spread myself this many directions. I definitely am aiming to be a one planner girl, potentially juggling two, and that's kind of the plan I have going into this year. I feel like that's realistic. So first off, let's just talk about the fact that I'm no longer using rings. I'm using this GM Agenda, but I took out the rings and I have my Hobonichi inside of it, and then I am using this little disc as kind of a support to this, but I am not using rings currently, and that is a huge switch for me. I really have always loved rings. I've loved the flexibility of rings, so I thought I would just address, like, why am I not using them anymore? First things first, it's honestly a little bit about the storage. When you have a book like this that you use all year, you have a book like this at the end of the year, and you can put it on a shelf and you can reference it in the future, and that's something that you cannot do when you're using rings. You have to have something that contains your rings. I found that over time I was just stacking up notebooks in my workspace, all these inserts, and I don't know, it's like as much as I wanted to keep them because I felt like they were little works of art and like historical representation of our lives, I just felt like I was outgrowing my space. And as we moved to a smaller space, into a condo, I felt like that space was even more crucial to like honor. And so something like this, like a little book that I can plug away at the end of the year but still have on hand, was really appealing to me. And so it did win me over for 2021, and you can see I've already purchased for 2022 as well. The second thing causes me to like dig a little deeper into my personality, and that is the reality that when I had an adjustable system, one of the things that I loved about rings was that I could set it up exactly how I wanted, and I could reprint a page. There was a little bit less commitment to it for me and tons of flexibility, which is an amazing thing. But the reality is that I spent a lot of time fiddling with that system, trying to, get the right dividers, the right things. I think that I spent so much time trying to set something up that I was losing time in productivity for sure. I mean, I'm never gonna go out here and say that I'm the most productive girl on the block. Like, I'm not. It's a work in progress, and this is part of my process. But to be honest, like, I was losing even more steam by the time I, set up and printed and created my perfect inserts. Well, then my mind changed and I was on to something else. Having a structured book already set for me, sorry, the glare on that's kind of bugging me, but having something that already has the structure, and I may or may not love the color each time, and I may or may not love the actual design of it, the reality is that I can make it work, and I don't have to sit and fuss with it, and I don't have to make it harder than it is, basically. So that is a big reason why the book-bound system won me over. I will credit Rebecca from Eat, Pray, Plan. She inspired me to even consider a book bound, and just also, I think she mentioned that too, that she recognized that she was spending a lot of time in the process of setting things up. The other thing some of you are kind of probably wondering is, what does this mean for my Etsy shop? And that's a totally fair question, a great question. I'm honestly still figuring it out. The bottom line is that when I first started to create inserts, I did that because I literally could not find anything on the market. I couldn't, and so I wanted something that was super simple and that just met my needs and offered no more. That was 6 years ago, and I feel like nowadays there are so many amazing options out on the market that I personally only want things in my shop that are very unique to my shop. I'm not going to go make a month on two page that's really similar to someone else's. It's available, it's already on the market, so I'm only interested in bringing something that maybe isn't on the market. So I created this insert for myself. I just decided, I really wanted this monthly overview to roll into like the yearly overview to roll into a larger yearly overview. And then I go into quarterly because I really feel like I've got to start breaking these things down, like some of those big picture things, breaking them down into smaller categories before I just suddenly jump into my monthly section. So I created this. It's a Monday start. It has weeks on it. It's just things that I wanted to see in an insert that I wasn't quite finding out there. And I didn't really want it to have much else, and I didn't do a Sunday start. So someone already asked me, will you do a Sunday start? And like, my heart is not really into the insert design. My heart is like, make me something that I can use in my planner, and if I can share that with someone else, awesome. But I'm less and less inclined to like try to squeeze all this into a pocket size. Like, that's just not very feasible to me. I love it in this half letter. I offered it in the A5, and for right now, that's kind of all I'm leaning towards. So that's kind of how my Etsy shop is working right now, and it may not work. It may not function that way, and that's okay. I'm totally fine like setting some of that aside. I also did purchase the goals. I'm not going to show too much, but from the Planner Spot. If you haven't watched her goal setting series, like she does such an amazing job of like taking her yearly goals, breaking them down into monthly, weekly, daily actions. Super inspiring to me. I'm totally not there yet. I can't quite figure out like the 3 goals I would want. I have like 10 goals, so still trying to whittle that away. And I'm just gonna, yeah, like you can kind of see, I'm just still working out some of these pages and trying to just put some of those thoughts on paper and get some of the like regular monthly tasks that I do, weekly tasks, daily tasks on paper, because I do a lot of things just on operational mode, and I think it would be nice to actually keep track of that and like try to keep it from things falling through the cracks is basically the reason why I would take the time to write them down. So I haven't gone through her daily section yet. I'm working my way through. I did some of the yearly, monthly, and I think I'm at weekly, and then I'll finish off with daily stuff. I will link this package below. It's available in her Etsy shop as a printable, and I highly recommend just the practice of that if you don't have anything else that you're using at this point for your goal setting. In the process of that, I realized that I really wanted to use these discs as a content planner. As I'm switching my focus from my Etsy shop towards video creation, definitely needed some place to basically brainstorm ideas and really kind of think ahead. I wanted to do some batch filming, and that's really helped too. Like when I film several videos in a day, and then I can pan them out throughout the month as I release them. That's really helpful, but you have to kind of know what you want to film next. So I'm kind of giving you a glimpse of this. I shared a little tiny bit on Instagram. This is kind of my own little creation based on what I think I need, and it probably will evolve with time. But I wanted to see the month overview. I wanted to put little stickers there on days that I want to release videos. I created this section for goals. So to have 3 main goals per month, and then like Planner Spot inspired, I thought like, what do I need to do each month, each week, each day to make these goals happen? So please don't read this. I have no idea what it says, and it's such a work in progress. This is very new to me. I'm very much more of a go with the flow girl. And so I'm really trying to just think things out and think a few steps ahead instead of just like, oh, I want to show a video tomorrow, I guess I better film it, you know, like that's not really how I want to operate. So over here on the left, I just have the month, and I just put like, here's, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 videos that I want to do this month. So then I decided like here, instead of me rewriting every time, like I need to write a script, I need to film, I need to edit, thumbnail, upload, blah, blah, blah. I just like the idea that it's already printed here on my insert, and then I can just highlight it when that is accomplished. And then this final column, I decided that if I'm going to be doing YouTube videos, that I really want like that to be my focus. Obviously, you know, there's all these areas. There's Etsy, there's Instagram, there's YouTube, like Pinterest. Where do I point my attention? So I'm kind of leaning towards YouTube videos, and then I can use this other social media to support that. Or it also just gives me a theme. So ideally, like when I'm talking about removing rings from my agenda on YouTube, if that's my video for the week, then some of this other content is going to gear towards that and show people, hey, this is here, you know, it's a resource for you. And it's not going to be like every post is about that, but like I'm trying to think like, how can I gear towards a theme for the week? And kind of it just gives me some ideas then for content, that it's not just the same old thing over and over and over. It's kind of fresh each week because it has a new focus. That's the direction I'm going. I can't say that I've gotten there yet, but that's what I'm thinking. So this is just here to help me. I changed it up a little bit here. I actually put the dates, and I was kind of giving myself Fridays as the deadline for when I wanted these videos to go up. And so I need to spend some time. This is something that I have to calendar in for myself, is some content planning time, because one of my goals for November was to have my video schedule figured out. Well, I've penciled some ideas in, but already it's like, okay, now I need to start planning January content, and I need to script and film and edit all of these. So like, I'll figure it out, but and this doesn't quite represent where I'm at this exact moment. I have some things done and some not. So I will come through probably after I film this and kind of catch up and kind of figure out where I'm at and where I need to go for the rest of this month. It's only the 2nd of December here, so I'm not like super behind. But yeah, wanted to share that with you. I'm not going to go into too much more detail here because the rest of this is a little bit more just private. Like I said, I think I have passwords in here. I am not planning to do like a week on two page in here like I normally would. Nope, the Hobonichi is going to cover that. And I even have these areas for lists and projects. Like I have these dividers, but really I want things like that to be in this Hobonichi because I just feel like I want really this to be a one-stop shop. And then this is a little bit more like my overall like content planner and then just home resource. So that's kind of the plan for this. And you guys, it's just like so plain, and like I threw these stickers in here because I'm using them a lot in this planner. So this is not at all like meant to be a gorgeous looking thing. It's meant to be really functional for me. And so far, I'm really pleased with just having this. I know what to grab when I need something about YouTube or about content. This is my go-to, and then everything else is pretty much here. One last thing I will say is that some of you have been such faithful shoppers for me on Etsy, and I just please know how much that has meant to me and how much I appreciate you. I will not leave you in a lurch. You can always reach out to me if you need something customized or you really want access to a design that you no longer see in my shop. Obviously, I think that there are so many other options out there that I don't think you'll be in a lurch, but some of you have been really sweet and you really like having your planner kind of be consistent throughout your planner, which I completely understand. So like I said, if you find yourself just needing something fresh for a new year or whatever, please let me know. And when I hear back from you guys, like when I hear your requests, sometimes that helps me guide my listings, because it's like, okay, people are looking for this, so I'm going to make sure I have those available. And when I don't hear anything about an insert and it's pretty quiet, it's like, okay, it's time for it to go. It's kind of had its life, and I will remove, and I'm trying to pare things down on Etsy so it's a little more simple. I am going to take this opportunity now just to show you two planners that I did really strongly consider using this year and have opted not. So I'll move this big guy out of the way. This is a total catch-all video, but it really is like so many planners, so little time. This I purchased in the A5 size and in this little B6, and this is the Wonderland 222. It was brand new to me. I definitely heard about this from Rebecca and Nora, Dr. Alba Plans, and Eat, Pray, Plan. I always want to get those mixed up. Eat, Plan, Pray, Eat, Pray, Plan. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. Anyway, this was like, I had been using the Hobonichi for 2021. Actually, Karen, you are the one who first told me about this, and I actually purchased a 2020 at the beginning of 2021. And I didn't think that I would really like it, but it was like half off, and I thought, sure, I'll try it. And so as I started to use my Hobonichi and realize how much I loved having a book at the end of the year to like, a resource, then I realized I wanted to do that with my 2020 information. So I actually went back and I backfilled an entire 2020 Wonderland 222. I used the inserts that I created in A5 in personal wide. Instead of having crazy assortment of different insert sizes, I went through and I put all the information into a book. So I have that now. And I should have shown it, but I don't have it here handy. So I'll just quickly, I think you guys have probably seen these. It's nothing, they're out there available, but they have a really beautiful aesthetic. They're similar to the Hobonichi, but different. I love that they are a Monday start also. So you get your overviews. If you guys are super curious about this planner, you probably should search for a different video. This is not gonna go in depth into here. But the bottom line is that it's a really nice aesthetic. It's almost like a kind of a taupey gray. It's really beautiful. It's also the Tomoe River paper. The bottom line for me became the Sunday and Saturday split. Like that's something I've always liked. I've always wanted the wider weeks and then splitting my weekends. But in the Hobonichi, I really got used to the sidebar. It's such a fun way to add some deco on your page without actually messing with any of your usable space for me, because I don't use the sidebar the same way some people do. So I just decided like that was a deal breaker for me. You can see this is gorgeous. I like it. The Hobonichi has all their months grouped up front, and this one has, let me see if I can find it for you. So you get like the previous month review, a new month overview, month on two page, flowing right into your weeks. And then at the end of that, you get a monthly review into the new month. And that is, it's a really well designed. I have no complaints about that. It's just a difference in the Hobonichi, because the Hobonichi groups all your months up front, which I have now kind of gotten used to, which is crazy. And then it has your weeks separate, and then of course your days. This one doesn't have a daily page per se, but it does have the option. Like you could definitely do a day on this. It has the hours from 5 to 24 on here, and you can write in your dates. So it's got some really great options. And I have a cover on here. I think my color is like a dark, yeah, I chose the black, but I do like to cover that with some paper. This paper I'll mention too, it's from the Stamp Market. She has some really pretty pattern papers that she releases periodically, and I really just love her style. My other little dotted paper here that I just use that simple is also from the Stamp Market. Yeah, so this is Wonderland 222. Like I said, this is the B6. They have a larger A5. I bought those. I bought notebooks. I was all in. I was gonna do whatever Rebecca did. And then I just kind of was like, you know what? No, I'm actually really happy in my Hobonichi. So having said that, now that I know that I'm liking, you know, the Hobonichi style, I was watching a video from Nora, Dr. Alva Plans, and she walked through this, the Hemlock and Oak book, and I thought, oh my gosh, that is it. That's the perfect one. That's the combination, because it has that thicker, white, solid paper that I think I could stamp on. I added these tabs, just want you to know that. These are from Shop Gracie Edits. But yeah, I thought for sure that this would be it. And it has this really lovely grid. It's super, you guys look at that. Like, you cannot get much like more simple, but yet still stylish. You know, like, it's just perfect. I came through here and I stamped January and a snowflake. Just thought I wanted to experiment to see, like, how do those inks work. Of course, they were fine. They're beautiful. There's really, like, absolutely no shadowing. I chose super light inks. I think that these are close to my heart. Maybe mint and mink, or maybe that's probably linen. Super, super light. But yeah, and then it's into the Monday start. It does have a sidebar, so I have that option. And I mean, I'm still kind of like, I could use this. Like, I feel like, oh, it's so pretty. And I don't know, like, I just can't use both. And I'm so, like, kind of invested into my Hobonichi at this point. But all in all, this could not be a more beautiful planner. It has the week numbers down at the bottom and the dates across the bottom here. Has page numbers in case you needed that. A little bit of a review at the end of each month, space to plan for the next month. It's really beautiful. So actually, that's not a review. It's actually going towards the new month. So you have the May review, May memories, June plans, space to plan, and then you still get your month on 2-page. So I don't know. I might just keep this one because I don't have any way to, like, play with it right now, because I'm not a forward planner and such that I'm going to start writing down things for July in the year before. So I may decide in January. I can't imagine what it would take for me to jump out of my Hobonichi at this point, but I hope that tells you, like, how much this is a strong consideration for me. I feel like one of the big drawbacks for me is probably this book bound. I feel like it's not as friendly. I really like having my Hobonichi in my cover. I have another cover on order, a Vanderspec, that I ordered before I knew I could get my rings out of my GM. And so I feel like I'm kind of committed that direction. But like I said, this is gorgeous. One of the positives that I like about this too is that they do switch at noon. They go back to, it's not military time. And it seems like a reasonable day, you know, from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. So that is another perk for this. But yeah, you guys, I don't know. It's definitely it's a consideration. As I'm flipping through this, I'm like, why am I not using it? But anyways, I went ahead and I filmed a little video where I showed how I put these tabs on, so I'm gonna kind of let you guys see that later. But I also, yeah, this one is just, there's something about the Hobonichi though. It's, I think, the challenge of taking something that absolutely scared me to death when I first saw it and making it work. So many planners, so little time. I really wish I could use all of them and I could make them all amazing. We'll see what I come up with. Thank you for joining me. I hope that this was just a good chatty video where we could catch up as friends. And if you're new around here, you probably didn't stick around this long. My dog is whining. He would like to go outside. So I'm gonna take a break and go take care of him. All right, you guys, take care. We'll catch you next time.